Let's talk about that car sitting in your driveway. Chances are it's not what you think it is. We still tend to see a mechanical beast, right? An engine, some wheels, a frame. But the reality is, it's a powerful, connected computer, and defending that computer has become one of the biggest challenges in tech today. I mean, really think about it. A modern car is running on millions of lines of code. It's managing everything from the music you're playing to the timing of your anti-lock brakes. Now, this leap from mechanics to software has given us some incredible features, for sure, but it's also kicked open a door to a totally new kind of threat, one that doesn't need a crowbar to get in. I want you to just look at this number for a second, 97%. It's a huge figure, and honestly, it completely flips our whole idea of automotive risk on its head. It shows just how much the source of the danger has changed. Yep, almost every single cyber attack on a car happens remotely. So we're not talking about someone physically jacking into your car's port anymore. No, the threat is invisible. It's coming through the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the car's own cellular link. The battlefield has literally moved from the street into the airwaves. Okay, so what do these invisible dangers actually look like? And I want to be clear, this isn't some science fiction movie plot. These are real, tangible vulnerabilities that drivers, car makers, and even governments are dealing with right now. The real wake-up call for the entire industry happened back in 2015. Picture this, a couple of security researchers sitting on their couch miles away from the highway. They wirelessly broke into a Jeep Cherokee while it was driving. First, they got in through the entertainment system, the radio. Seemed harmless. But from there, they jumped over to the critical systems. They took control of the steering, the brakes, the engine, and brought that Jeep to a helpless crawl right in the middle of traffic. It was terrifying. And that right there is the lesson, isn't it? In a connected car, everything is connected to everything else. A weak spot in your radio can become a wide-open backdoor to your brakes. It proved, in a very real way, that you just can't have any weak links when you're dealing with a system where lives are at stake. And look, it's not just about these dramatic full-car takeovers. Attackers can do other things, like mess with the engine to make it suddenly accelerate or just shut down. They can steal a ton of your personal data. I'm talking GPS history, your contacts, how you drive. Or, and this is wild, they can trick a car's sensors. In one experiment, researchers put a few pieces of tape on a speed limit sign, and it fooled a car's autopilot into speeding up dangerously. So with all these invisible threats flying around, how are car companies fighting back? Well, they've had to completely change their thinking. They're not just adding a single security feature anymore. They're building what you can only call a digital fortress, and it has multiple, overlapping layers of defense. So a core part of this fortress is a concept called network segmentation. It sounds technical, but the idea is actually really simple. Just imagine your car's internal network is like a building with a bunch of rooms. You put the supercritical stuff, brakes, engine, steering, in one room, and you lock and bolt the door. Then you put the less critical stuff, like the infotainment system, in a totally separate room. That way, even if a hacker gets into the radio room, the door to the brake room is sealed tight. But a good fortress needs more than just locked doors. So on top of that, there are other layers. You've got secure gateways that act like firewalls between those rooms. You've got intrusion detection systems, which are basically digital security guards constantly patrolling the network, looking for anything suspicious. And you have hardware security modules, which are like tiny, ultra-secure digital safes that guard the car's most important secret keys. And here's the kicker. Building these defenses isn't just a good idea anymore. It's actually the law. There are major international regulations now, like UNECE R155, that say car makers must have a certified cybersecurity system for the entire life of a car. If they don't, they simply can't sell their vehicles in huge parts of the world. Okay, we've talked about the threats and the defenses, but let's bring it back to what really matters. Why should this be important to you or to the people making policy? What are the actual stakes here? The fallout from just one cyber attack is huge, and it hits on multiple fronts. First, and most importantly, there's the very real risk to your physical safety. But beyond that, you've got massive financial losses, you've got brand damage that can haunt a company for years, and you have the theft of your personal private data. And if you want to put a number on that financial loss piece, here you go, 1.4 million. That is how many vehicles Chrysler had to recall to fix the software after that 2015 Jeep hack. The cost of a single weak spot can ripple out and cost a company billions. So you see, the stakes are sky high for everyone, just in different ways. For the drivers, it's about our personal safety and the privacy of our data, where we go, what we do. For the manufacturers, yeah, it's about money, but it's even more about trust, because once a customer's trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to ever earn it back. And all of this leads to what might be the most important change in thinking for the auto industry. See, defending a digital car isn't a problem you just solve once and then walk away from. It is a constant, never-ending journey. This really gets to the heart of the new mindset. The old way was to make sure the car was secure the day it rolled off the assembly line. Job done. The new way, the only way, is to guarantee that car's security for its entire life on the road. It has to be treated like any other critical component, like the brakes or the engine. And the way they do this is through a constant cycle of protection. The manufacturers are always monitoring their cars out in the wild for new threats. When they find a vulnerability, they develop a patch and then beam it out securely over the air directly to your car, a lot of times while it's just parked in your garage overnight. It's basically a digital immune system, constantly adapting to fight off new bugs. And that brings us to one final really big question. We've been talking about the cars of today, but the fully autonomous cars of tomorrow? They're right around the corner. And when there's no driver there to grab the wheel if something goes wrong, the security of that software isn't just a feature, it is everything. So I'll leave you with this to think about. As cars start to drive themselves, who exactly do you trust to hold the digital keys?